That was what I already noticed back then, that the product is actually very low maintenance and has few interactions with other software on the system. So when I talk about the current period, the maintenance effort is truly very, very minimal. I would estimate it at a maximum of 10 minutes per week.
Today we're holding an online session with a client who is located quite far away, which means it's somewhat uncertain whether we will be able to travel there comfortably today. And we're planning to set up an online session with him. He has simply placed the camera and connected the microphone, and then we will proceed with conducting an interview. Let's see how it goes and take it from there. At this point, I'd like to kindly ask you to confirm for me that we did not make any prior arrangements regarding the content of this video.
Yes, I can indeed confirm for you that there have been no prior agreements or arrangements made, and that we are now engaging in this conversation freely of our own volition. I'm quite curious to find out what kind of questions will be directed at me now. So, my name is Stefan Vedak, and I'm the IT team leader here at Diakomed Hospital Chemnitzer Land. As the name implies, Diakomed Hospital serves as a primary care facility located near Chemnitz, providing essential medical services to the community. And here at the hospital, we operate 3 surgical and 2 internal medicine departments, as well as an emergency center, a lab, and radiology. So, in our hospital, we have approximately 200 PC systems actively in use, as well as a wide range of specialized systems that are essential for the operation of any hospital and cater to its diverse medical needs. With the client systems, we essentially aim to secure every workstation that corresponds to a physical location. We secure approximately 200 client workstations with this product, delivering a comprehensive layer of protection. The healthcare sector has consistently made headlines in the media, repeatedly showcasing numerous examples where organizations, both large facilities and smaller institutions, have been impacted by security incidents. My impression, quite simply, is that these incidents are becoming noticeably more frequent and are now hitting closer to us than ever before. As I mentioned earlier, we have been utilizing the SecuLution system here since 2008, and I genuinely believe that SecuLution has provided us with significant assistance in this regard. What we undoubtedly and distinctly notice, and this aspect certainly contributes significantly to a heightened and more comprehensive sense of security, is that we receive immediate and real-time alerts whenever anything occurs within any area of a secured system that has not been whitelisted. For example, what from time to time happens is that a USB device, such as a flash drive, is plugged in somewhere. It is not whitelisted, and then it gets blocked. If I, or often my colleague who's installing software at a location, notices that something happens, we immediately receive feedback. You can really tell that the system is actively working and fully operational. I receive a notification that something is being blocked because it's not recognized yet, and I have the responsibility to decide whether to allow it or deny it. The solution, through the product's admin interface, provides immediate feedback, so I can see that something was blocked. I can check what it was, on which computer it occurred, and which user is logged in. I get the feedback immediately and efficiently. As I previously mentioned earlier, I come from a system house environment where you also support a variety of various clients and offer them a classic antivirus solution as a partner. And if I reflect on the situation from about 15 years ago, there was always a persistent problem that these antivirus solutions frequently caused issues on their own. Back then it was called SecuSurf, and SecuSurf didn't cause any problems. It ran quietly in the background without issues. That was something I noticed back then, that the product is actually very low maintenance and has very few interactions with other software products present on the system.
Do you have a way to estimate how much time you generally need to allocate each week or each day for effectively managing SecuLution Application Whitelisting? It would be interesting to understand how this time commitment typically looks in your experience.
So, when I talk about the current period, the time required is really very, very minimal. I would define it as no more than 10 minutes per week. It always depends. When rolling out new systems, I naturally also need to deploy the client component on them. You always have to make sure that the systems are relatively up to date in terms of the components. Depending on the situation, there are always periods when some infrastructural changes occur, which then require a bit more maintenance effort. In den Zeiten, wo wir halt andere Projekte haben, Softwareprojekte, dann ist es wirklich pflegeleicht.
That's a great endorsement. It's good to hear that you say, as long as it's a static system without active projects, the regular maintenance effort is just 10 minutes per week. That aligns with what we observe as well, though it's something a customer never believes. Or not a customer, I rather meant a prospective client, someone who hasn't actually used the product yet. When we explain over the phone that they don't need to worry, that even though it's whitelisting, which has this reputation that you'd need a whole team of administrators just to maintain it, when we explain to them that because we handle it in the cloud with this trust level database, they don't have that level of effort. They simply don't believe it. And when an actual long-term customer says that if they're not working on software-related projects, then honestly any maintenance effort is more due to the project itself than to the system. If you have to make a software change anyway, then whitelisting is just an additional step in the chain of things you just have to do anyway. So it's not a dramatic extra effort, it's just something you need to keep in mind.
Yes, the classic scenario in a hospital environment, as I perceive it, is that we have a very diverse array of software products. Additionally, there are many specialized software products that would certainly not be found in the trust level database for whitelisting. However, when I perform an update, I am fully aware of where the corresponding executable files that have changed are located. And this training process really only takes a minute. I simply take these files, add them into the whitelist, and then they start functioning without issue. And just like that, the process is complete, and the matter is resolved entirely.
Is it challenging to use the system?
No, I'm not certain that I could provide an exact rating on a scale from 1 to 10. However, it's common to examine various IT solutions from the infrastructure field periodically. Frequently, manufacturers continue to add more and more features to the software, which can sometimes lead to complexity. In the end, you sometimes end up using only a fraction of those features. And the interfaces for these products keep getting more complex. That means you get menu trees that keep getting longer and longer. I don't have that impression with this software. I think it focuses on the essentials, concentrating on what is actually necessary. And I genuinely believe that it is very intuitive to use the information and notifications you receive are presented in a way that is easy to understand, and I would be able to navigate the system relatively quickly, even if I'm not familiar with the product.
Is there anything specific about the functions of SecuLution Application Whitelisting that you would say you particularly appreciate?
So indeed, what I mentioned previously, which has proven to be extremely beneficial for us, is the trust level database that was introduced at some point. That, without a doubt. Additionally, I would say that the initial overview I see upon launching the admin interface is particularly useful, as it allows me to quickly and easily ascertain at a glance if any incidents have occurred and assess the number of notifications I have. I believe that is already a significant benefit. And the simple learning of objects and of executable files, that you can quickly say, yes, something has occurred, that is correct, it can be executed. One click and I have it practically in the system.
Now here's just a question where I'm slightly throwing you a bit into the deep end, and you haven't had the opportunity to prepare for it. Specifically, could you identify any functions that you feel are missing from the system? Are there any features or capabilities that you would like it to possess that it currently does not offer?
Nothing really comes to mind at the moment.
Could you say a few words about the support provided by the manufacturer?
I'd say very little actually, because we rarely need to contact them. Indeed, that's due to the fact that any errors, although I wouldn't even categorize them as errors, are typically ones we can resolve on our own when they occur. In the early years, there was somewhat more contact involved, but we consistently received assistance promptly, so I never formed any negative impression at all.
That's actually a nice endorsement. It also ties back a bit to the question from earlier about how difficult it is to use. Because if you're able to say, here's an obstacle, how do I find a solution, then it can't be too complex of a product. If you're able to arrive at a solution relatively quickly on your own.
Yes, as I previously mentioned, it's a daily task that we do. The updates that the system now brings are not particularly spectacular in terms of implementation, so it all goes very quickly. Something else I should mention is that we have been operating the central component as a virtual appliance in a VMware environment for many years now, which has significantly contributed to our system's efficiency. This setup makes everything even easier, allowing us to restart the system quickly if needed, although we've actually never encountered any errors there. Yes, ultimately we are satisfied with the product, and I would definitely recommend it at any time. That's certainly a noteworthy point that is worth sharing with others.
Very nice, that's fantastic. Thank you again very much. I'm glad you took the time to watch this video all the way to the end. This client's feedback is by no means an exception. It is essentially indicative of what we consistently hear from our clients, as SecuLution Application Whitelisting is undoubtedly the most secure measure currently available on the market. It stands out as the safest antivirus and endpoint protection module that you can deploy in the realm of security. And if you'd like more information, want to see other customer feedback, or want to see how to use the product, feel free to check out the videos on our channel. I've included the link below in the video description, www.applicationwhitelisting.com with a hyphen. And the best part is, if you go to the website www.seculution.com and order the product there, you'll receive an 8-week money-back guarantee, no questions asked. This means that if it doesn't meet your expectations as we promised, there's no risk for you at all. Why not give it a try? See you then. Goodbye.